Woohoo! We are back. This is the second video in our series about solving word problems using systems of equations. And for this problem, we're going to do a problem that's completely different. This problem has to do with photography. So again, following my list, I am going to encourage you, read through the problem, try to see if there's a type you can recognize. Are there any formulas? Let's see. Suppose you are a wedding photographer and you sell the following packages. Package 1 has two 10 by 14 color photos plus 10 8 by 10 color photos for $310. And honestly, on my first read through, that sounds like blah, 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 blah. Package 2, 3 10 by 14 color photos plus 4 8 by 10 color photos for $190. Again, that sounds kind of mushy to me, but I'm reading through and giving it a chance. It says, given this information, how much would you expect to pay for one 10 by 14 or one 8 by 10 by itself? Oh man, there's a lot going on here. So I read through the problem. Is it a type you recognize? In this case, no. This is not a problem I've done before. Are there formulas we could use? There might be, but I can't think of any right now. So I'm going to have to, this one, I'm just going to have to fake it. Fake it till you make it. 2, draw a picture. I'm going to pass on the drawing a picture. You guys are welcome to draw a picture, but I don't, off the top of my head, think I have any pictures I could draw that could help me with this. I could certainly draw a picture that would relax me, so that might be fun. Go ahead and turn the video off, draw a picture, come back. It's a good way to relax. Number 3, read the final question to set up the variables. Okay, this one we can do. So let's come here. The final question or the final sentence or the final countdown, if you want to sing along with me. Final question. Okay, there's my final question. Okay, given this information, how much is, right? How much is a very complicated question because you could be asking like, how much olive oil, right? So then you'd be thinking a tablespoon, a liter. You could say how much money, that would be in dollars. How many puppies? Wouldn't that be awesome? Not this problem though. So when we say how much, let me see what I'm talking about. Would you expect to pay? Okay, so we're looking for the cost. That's in dollars, I'm going to assume, because I'm here in California, we're still using dollars. How much would you expect to pay for one 10 by 14? What's a 10 by 14? And the answer is a 10 by 14 is a color photo. It's the size. This paper that I'm using right here that you can't quite see all of, this is 8.5 by 11. So 10 by 14 is really big. It's one of those big photos. And then an 8 by 10 photo is kind of the standard if you've gotten a portrait and you want to put it up somewhere fancy. It's a little bit smaller than this piece of paper. So these are describing types of photographs. So interestingly enough, the numbers 10 and 14 and 8 and 10, I'm not going to use in the problem. They're just telling me the different kinds of things. So how much would you expect to pay for one 10 by 14? So one 10 by 14 costs, I'm going to say X. Now, could you use any variable? Absolutely. Could you use smiley face or flower? Yes. So one 10 by 14 costs X dollars. And one 8 by 10, different kind of photograph, costs Y dollars. This is declaring variables. I've just declared my variables. In this case, I don't have a picture, although if you drew a picture, you could use it. So I'm just giving my declaration right there. Now, some people want you to write let, L-E-T, and then it would be slightly different English. Let one 10 by 14 cost X dollars. Let one 8x10 cost Y dollars. I'm not going to make it that fancy, but if you need to make it fancy for your class, definitely do. There are lots of different types of style when it comes to solving algebraic problems. Okay, so I've identified, this number 3. Read the final question. The final question, do-do-do-do. To find the variables, do-do-do-do-do. Okay, so we got the variables. Yay, we got variables. I'm so excited. And number 4, look for numbers. Do they fit in formulas or equations? Well, maybe, but I don't have any formulas. So let me look at the problem. And what seems to be really important here is I've got package 1 and package 2. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. I need two variables, so 2 equations, 2 packages. Do we think this is a coincidence? I think not. So let me take a look here. And I'm going to write package 1 has 2 10x14. I'm putting them in parentheses so that my brain doesn't see them as numbers, because these are not numbers. This is a type of photo. Okay. 2 10x14 color photos plus 10 8x10 photos costs $310. Notice that for the first package, and here, I'm going to do this one in pink. Notice that I've written that first package out in MetaMath. It's not quite math yet. It's got some stuff mixed in. So it's a mix of numbers and letters and English and math. But it gives me a way to write up basically what this says, but write it in a way that my brain can kind of see as shorthand. And you've got to figure out what makes the most sense for you. This makes perfect sense to me. It may not make perfect sense to you. So you need to think, how am I going to translate this first package into math? And then I'm going to say, wait a minute, the 10x14, that's X dollars. So it's going to be 2X plus 10, 8x10. 8x10s are Y. 10Y equals 310. I've got an equation. It's not a formula. It's just the equation I got. And this is called a translation problem. I'm just translating the packages. So let's look at package 2. I'm sorry you're not here to tell me what color we should be using. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and orange is too close and yellow is too close. Let me use purple. Package 2 is going to be, are those different? They're kind of different. I apologize. This is going to be purple. If that's not a different color for you on your video, please definitely use a different color in your notes. And I've got 3 10x14 inch pictures plus 4 8x10 color photos costs $190. And in that same way, here, I'll underline this in purple. In the same way, I'm going to go ahead and write this fully in math. The 10x14s cost X dollars. That's 3X plus the 8x10s cost Y. 4Y equals 190. Notice when I translate completely to math, I leave out the dollars. Units are not part of math. You can do math with units, but in math, we leave the units out, believe it or not. In chemistry, in physics, I know you do unit math. In math, we do not do unit math. It's kind of ironic. And, now I'm getting kickback from the unit math consortium. Okay, so I've got 2 equations here. I've got this equation right there and this equation right here. So let me write them out together. 2X plus 10Y equals 310. And then 3X plus 4Y equals 190. Look at that. That's my system of equations right there. Both of those have to be true. Woohoo! And they're already all set up for elimination. Now, could you do substitution on this? Oh my goodness, if you really wanted to do substitution, more power to you. Go for it. I would make sure you have a lot to drink and multiple energy bars, because doing this one with substitution is a lot of work. But I do know some people just love their substitution. So go for it. You do you. I am not going to yuck your yum, except substitution. I just don't like it. So I'm going to yum my yum, which is elimination. So what is elimination? Well, remember, elimination is this weird process by which I'm going to try to play with each of these. And the way that I do it, I use a little arrow like that to remind myself what's happening. And I'm going to multiply top and bottom by some numbers, different numbers for the top one and the bottom one, so that I can add them together and cancel stuff out. Okay, so let's take a look here. You have to decide whether you're going to cancel out the x's or the y's. I kind of like the x's for canceling. They're very close together, 2 and 3, and they have a common multiple of 6. Could I do the y's? Yes. 10 and 4 have a common multiple of, you got it, 20. It's bigger. I don't want to go with the bigger one. I'm feeling lazy tonight. It's kind of late, and I'm just tired. So I'm going to go for the smaller numbers. You can choose either one. You will get the correct answer regardless of which one you work on. Okay, so I'm going to cancel the x's. So I'm going to look at these numbers, and I'm going to think common multiple is 6. Okay, so I'm going to aim for 6. And then I have to remember, if so 2x, I'm going to multiply by 3. And 3x, I'm going to multiply by 2. Now, if I just multiply by 3 and 2, I'll end up with 6x in both, and they won't cancel. I've got to pick one to be negative because they're both positive here. So I'm always, when I have two numbers here, I'm always going to choose the smaller one to be negative. That's just the way I learned to do it. Could I make the 3 negative? Absolutely. Again, you do you. There's a lot of people don't realize it. They think math is just one way always. And you don't know me, but trust me, if there was only one way to do math, then I wouldn't be doing it. Trust me. So here we go. 3 gets multiplied times everybody. So I've got 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times 10y is 30y. And 3 times 310, remember you've got that calculator nearby if you need it. I think I can do it. I think it's 930, fingers crossed. If it's not, I can imagine you guys are screaming at the video and I can't hear it, sadly. Remember that in order for this to work, I have to keep my balance. And my balance in this case is that when I multiply by one term, I have to multiply all the terms, both sides. Same thing here. Negative 2 times 3x is negative 6x. Negative 2 times 4y is negative 8y. And negative 2 times 190 is negative 380. I really, really hope. And let's add. And if I add, I see that my 6x and my negative 6x cancel out. Yay, it worked. If one of your variables doesn't cancel out, then you need to start over. You need to pick the numbers very particularly so something will cancel out and will disappear when you add. Remember, we're adding them. Okay, 30y minus 8y is 22y. And 9/3, this is where my brain now is not going to be as helpful as maybe someone else's brain might be. I could do this, but since I'm doing it for a video, I want to make sure I get it right and I don't accidentally make any mistakes. So I think, what is my prediction? I think it's going to be 550. Oh my gosh, it's 550. Yay! Yay! Oh, that was unfortunate. Oh no. Oh no, and I don't have my, oh no. I've misplaced, okay. There, we're just going to all agree that that's a 0 with a mustache, right? Because I don't have my whiteout. Oh my goodness, my whiteout is missing. Oh no. So it's just a 0 with a mustache. It's just a fancy 0. Or maybe, a 0 who's going to a costume party. Or maybe it's just a 0 who likes the way mustaches look, It's again, you guys do you. Okay. At this point, I could keep going, but I'm a little worried about squishing everything. So I'm going to go ahead and work on the next page. And remember, my rule, because of the way my brain works, and doesn't work sometimes, is that I always take wherever I was and copy it exactly, except for the mustache. I'm going to leave off the mustache. And I'm going to go ahead and keep working on it here. And the idea is I never try to do math and transfer to a new sheet at the same time. It's just, man, that doesn't work for me. If it works for you, awesome. Go for it. Rock on. Okay, now I need to solve for y. So I'm going to divide both sides by 22. This is not looking good. Now I could do, I could just go reduce, reduce, reduce. Or I could go ahead and go straight for the calculator. Oh, let me be brave. I'll be brave. We can reduce together, right? I've got a little bit of time in this video. Okay, so let me get out my pen of destiny. Here we go, red pen of destiny. Help me out here. So I've got 5, 50, and 22. I know 2 goes into both of them. So I'm going to cancel out the 2's. And 22 divided by 2 is 11. Oh man, 550 divided by 2 is 2 goes into 5 2 times. And then I get a 1 next to the 5. 2 into 15 is 7. 275. 275. Woohoo. I'm going to have to check this on my calculator. I don't trust myself. And then 275 over 11. I wonder if 11 goes into 275. And the answer is, I believe it does. I believe this is 11 times 25. And then we can cancel the 11s. And then I think we get 25. Now, I'm going to check that. 550 divided by 22 equals 25. Ooh, yay! Dance party, guys. The final countdown. Okay, so are we done? I mean, I've got lots of paper. I used my calculator a couple times. Are we done? And the answer is, well, we've got y equals 25 with no context. So I'm going to have to go back over here because I can't even remember what was going on in the problem. But as I recall, there were 2 equations, 2 variables. I only have one answer. I need the other one. So what does x equal? Now, oh, this is very sad. As much as I love elimination, and oh my gosh, do I love elimination. I really do. But the downside of elimination is there's no nice equation for finding x. So finding x is going to be a lot of work. So let's do it. We can do it. Be brave. Now the answer is you can choose either of these let's try this again. Either of these equations. See, the great thing is I don't know how to edit using YouTube. So you guys get the blooper reel snugged inside the actual video. Isn't that cool? It's amazing. And you don't have to pay extra. The whole thing is free. Okay, so we've got this equation, this equation, this equation, this equation. There are 4 equations you can be using. Whichever one looks good. I'm going to go with the first one because I like it, but you could choose any of them. Really. In fact, they all have to work out. Okay, so I'm going to use this equation. I know that y is 25. So then I've got 2x plus 250. 25 times 10, you just stick the 0 on the end, equals 310. Now, a lot of the numbers in problems like this will not be hard numbers. These are, some of them are going to be nasty, but most of them are going to be fairly straightforward. So why am I doing all of this? That seems kind of silly. And the answer is Personally, after I've done a whole 2 pages of work, my brain is tired. And so I want to make sure I'm just being very extra careful that I don't make any mistakes. Or if something weird happens, I will have lots of work here. I'll be able to look back and go, okay, where was my mistake? So 310 minus 250 is 60. And then 2x divided by 2 is 60 divided by 2. So x equals 30. So what's the context, though? Let's go back and let's see if you've declared your variables, which I did right there. 1 10 by 14 costs x dollars. 1 8 by 10 costs y dollars. So in my world, a 10 by 14 costs x dollars, so that's $30. And an 8, can you see this? 8 by 10 costs 25. So if you're in my class, I am old. I have been teaching for hundreds of years now. And I taught Newton, fun fact, true story. And I long ago gave up on sentences. So you could just write this. As long as I understand your answer, that's awesome. But if you're in a normal class with normal people who don't use fictional puppets to teach math, then they may want you to write 1 10 by 14 costs $30. So make sure you write it out as a sentence. And then what's the last thing I'm going to do? Well, the last thing I'm going to do is collapse and be like, yay, we're done. And maybe it's time for ice cream or something. But the other thing that we can do is we can take that answer and go back to the problem and see, do these answers fit the problem? So notice I'm not checking my equations, which you can do. I'm going to try to check the problem, right? So package 1, 2 10 by 14 color photos. So 2 of these is 30 plus 30 plus 10 8 by 10s. 10 of those would be plus 250, right? Should be $310. Is it 310? Woohoo! Okay. And then 3 10 by 14, 3 times 30. Okay. Oh, let's try that again. 3 times 30, that's 90. Plus 4 8 by 10s, 4 of those. So I do plus 4 times 25 is 190. It's 190. Woohoo! Yay! We survived the final countdown. You guys are awesome. Congratulations. Another word problem down. You are wonderful and amazing and so very smart. Don't ever let anyone tell you anything else. And, woohoo, math on, and I'll see you in the next video. Woohoo.